Made it to our third and final state park, Florida State Park. We're at Yellow Bluff Fort Historic State Park. It's about 4:30. The good news is that it's still open until about 8 o'clock. Is when it'll begin to shut down. But the cannons on either side welcome us to Yellow Bluff Fort. It was dedicated to the memory of the Confederate soldiers who defended Jacksonville 1861 to 1865. Yellow Bluff Fort, Confederate earthworks designed and located by General Robert E. Lee as one of the series of forts for the defense of the St. Johns River. This fort was occupied by both Confederate and Union forces during the course of the war and is today in its original state. So let's go ahead and walk to where the fort is. As I venture on, this is my third and final stop on Florida's historical state parks, as the cannons line the main path behind me. See it down that way. I guess the fort is down this way, where this is a Civil War fort, not with the Spanish-American War or the French. So we've gone through the history books today of all the different forts, or all the different battles, or all the different historical sites in Florida, or battles that took place. We went to Fort Clinch. We just finished up at Fort Caroline, or La Caroline, with the French and the French and the Native Americans shook hands in friendship, and now we are at a Civil War site with the General Robert E. Lee between the Union Army and the Confederate Army. We are walking towards the fort, or where the fort was. I'm not sure. It doesn't even show where to go, but there's a path cleared out, so I'm guessing I'm just going to follow this path and come up to something, anything that would give me a clue as to where we're going. And what? Oh, that's nothing there. There's nothing here. So, whoa. What is this? Down into the valley. Okay. Try not to fall. It's just like a trail. Nature trail. At least it's shaded. So, well, we're down into the valley. Right by a tree. Okay. Where are we going exactly? I don't know. Nice tree though. Okay, so after reading upon the Yellow Bluff historical site, there is nothing here. Only the memories that you can commemorate of the War 1864 was when the fort was occupied and in operation. Here we can just memory of the past at this site. My guess is where I'm standing was where the fort was, and that's what these little dips are. They have these trenches that are shaped of a T. You can see that's the long, and then down this way through there, these were trenches that were used in the Civil War between the Confederate and Union soldiers. So General Robert E. Lee, who was a Confederate general, led the charge into Yellow Bluff, which is here, and can basically fend off the Union soldiers, and then Florida eventually gained the rights of was a Confederate state, but then once it was a Confederate state, as it joined the South, of course, this is the end here of the trail. So there's really nothing, no fort, no visitor center, no museum. It's really just a look online and check it out. So, this was a bust. Came all this way. Well, not all this way, but it's kind of like, remember, of the Battle of Okeechobee, and where I drove 2 hours and came out with nothing. That was kind of a bust, and so it was unfortunate enough I had to delete that video because there was nothing to see, nothing to talk about, really, other than there was one flyer or one plaque that had the Battle of Okeechobee written on it and when it took place. That was it. And so I was able to go through that, but I ended up deleting that video. And then so this one's kind of similar, where I drive 20 minutes, came up with nothing. Just the cannons that you see, the main path of where General Robert E. Lee led his troops around the fort. Kind of one of the cannons, replica cannons here. So, unfortunately, kind of ended the day on a sour note, unfortunately. But other two, the Fort Clinch and Fort Caroline, were both successful. We'll take 2 out of 3. That'll be a win. And so thank you all for joining me here for SpenVentures today, driving all around the city of Jacksonville, and going to the different state parks, historical sites. Like I said, I enjoy doing it. I mean, couldn't have it any other way, and and the weather was great. It cooperated today. Was thinking about my mom looked on the weather thinking it was supposed to storm this afternoon. I was like, well, hopefully I'll be done at Fort Clinch by the time the storm rolls in and I'll head back, but no. Was able to get things done today and visit 2 historical forts and sites successfully. Would have made it 3 if there was a fort or even a visitor center even that took place here, but that's okay. I guess we'll just start making our way back home, back to Palm Coast. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'm ready to get back. But first, I'm going to make one more stop, because there's something I want to see in downtown Jacksonville. Thank you all for joining me here on this SpenVenture. All the SpenVentures. Be sure to like these videos, historical videos. Subscribe to SpenVentures right here on the hat. And leave comments down below if you've been to a historical site. Not just in Florida. It could be another state in the country. Let me know. And I'll Put links in the description. Also, my video in the description from today at Fort Clinch and at Fort Caroline, or La Caroline, according to the French. And so, thank you all for joining me here at Yellow Bluff Fort Historical State Park. We will see you all on the next SpenVenture.